Hey folks, what's good? I'm Deets, your friendly neighborhood anti-troll. Look, I know that some days it might feel like we are surrounded by nothing but toxic internet nonsense. And we are. But I also think that there is still a lot out there to appreciate. And that's exactly what I do with this channel. My dopamine-deprived brain is kept somewhat satisfied by watching content. And then I come back here and tell you about the best creators that I find, so you can keep your playlist stacked. And on that note, let's get to today's creator, Petal Palmer. Fun fact about me, I was actually an EMT in a past life. I love to watch diagnosis stories, emergency response videos, anything medical mysteries. And also, I just happen to love true crime in general. So it really did make perfect sense when Petal showed up on my homepage.
Today we are going to be discussing the case of Michael Skolnick. We're going to be talking about the Tylenol murders. We'll be discussing the case of Joe Bartnick and Donato Danny Gennaro. But before we hop into today's case, just to introduce myself, my name is Petal Palmer, and on this channel I post anything involving medical mysteries and crime. If that is something that sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing if you end up liking this video. All right, let's get into this case.
Petal is a cancer patient and a cancer survivor. She was diagnosed with leukemia while she was still in college. As a student athlete, she was on the running team and she started feeling her symptoms when she was just 20 years old. She actually kicked off her YouTube channel by telling her diagnosis story.
It's now August 24th, the day everything changes. I had a 35-minute run to do, so in the evening I headed out, but the whole time I'm feeling awful.
From there, she actually leapt directly into telling stories of other medical cases. The surgeries gone wrong.
There was just this weird bulge in this area hurting with every move, and it became a daily cycle for him as he would describe feeling it first in his abdomen and then he felt it in his chest.
A story of a woman that was frozen alive but then lived.
Just a few hours ago, she was unconscious and frozen solid, and here she is now, speaking coherently and most concerned with her dad finding out she had crashed his car into a ditch as opposed to the condition she was in at the moment.
A woman that faked cancer.
It lasted all until Lucy made one crucial mistake that had people turning their heads. And it was after this happened when people began finding out the truth about her diagnosis.
Stories of neglect.
He just wrote that she was sleeping, when in actuality she was face down on the floor since 5:32 a.m. before being surrounded by doctors and nurses at 6:45 a.m. who were trying to revive her.
Life-altering surgeries done without consent.
During Michael's initial operation 5 months ago, Dr. M had not only performed a partial frontal lobotomy, but he removed part of the hypothalamus from Michael's brain.
Petal is a fantastic storyteller, and she manages to appeal to our emotions through the details that she shares.
They ended up organizing a large fundraiser and a bake sale in order to raise money for Lucy. They just hated seeing their coworkers struggle, and they wanted to assist in any way that they could. But it didn't take long for people to start noticing some inconsistencies with Lucy's story that would soon get called out.
She finds as many actual photos from each of the stories as she can. Pictures of the patients, of doctors, friends, family members, even the neighborhoods and geographical locations that they live in, if it makes sense. She will include newspaper articles, security camera footage, clips from the news.
Would like them to get it out of their home.
It's not right. It's not right at all. She was just murdered.
You know, really anything that can help add context to the stories and offer us a bigger picture to really fully understand what happened. The stories that Petal chooses to share are so wild, so horrific sometimes that if I didn't know any better, I might actually think that they're unbelievable.
This is the case of Clairvius Narcisse and the concoction that caused this man to die and come back to life.
The titles alone are enough to make you turn your head, but then the details that she offers within each story, they keep you riveted to the very end.
The security footage would show otherwise, and she would get caught in 3 lies.
Knowing that every story Petal chooses to share is a true story,
all caught on camera.
it makes the message on her channel even more impactful. It reminds me personally that I should always be my own advocate when it comes to my health. I need to speak up and make sure that I'm heard because it could end up saving my life and it could also end up saving someone else's. One thing that I really like about Petal is that she always starts out with a deep dive on the people she's talking about.
Esmond was a mother, a caregiver, a businesswoman, and a prominent figure in her church. She was described as being very generous, full of life.
She'll tell us who these people were growing up, what their passions are, how other people see them.
That has just truly always been Michael. He was somebody who wanted to make people laugh. He wanted others to feel good. His father would say he was the kid who would stand up for somebody anytime they were being picked on or bullied, regardless if he knew them at all.
Rather than just being a name in a story, we really get to know each character as an individual and as a human being. The way in which Petal delivers her stories is another reason why I really enjoy learning from her. Her voice is almost calming, even when the topics are anything but.
Nothing was more shocking than when 19-year-old Jean Hilliard began waking up after being left outside in the cold for over 6 hours.
She lets the facts of each story create the drama. She doesn't have to force it with an overly animated or loud voice.
Because of these procedures, Michael would spend the rest of his few years of life suffering before he passed away.
In celebration of being on YouTube for about a year, Petal recently uploaded a new video giving a personal update. She goes into even further detail about her diagnosis and her symptoms of leukemia.
My body starts kind of like doing like this. Like it's kind of just like motioning like up and down.
She talks about chemo and the side effects that she's had from it.
I had E. coli in my gut, PCP in my lungs, Pseudomonas in my blood, and on my skin, I had ecthyma gangrenosum. Oh, the way my body was not trying to heal because my white blood cells were so low.
And really just a general life update since she was diagnosed 2 years ago. Not only has she graduated from college, but she's even given a TEDx talk on cancer ghosting and appeared on Jubilee. I genuinely appreciate her sharing her own story in such a vulnerable way. I feel a lot more connected to her, not just as a content creator, but as a person.
I love just meeting other patients and just like being able to talk about things that we all can kind of relate to.
And ultimately, I feel like I'm starting to understand why she creates her videos. And side note, can we just take one moment to appreciate how much she's improved her lighting skills since she started her channel? It's just something that I noticed while I was collecting footage for this video, and wow, she just creates this really warm ambiance, and it's something that I can strive for, but have not yet achieved. So thank you, Petal. You are appreciated. You keep me interested with your topics. I'm always riveted with your detailed research, and I'm always engaged because of your obvious compassion and your calm delivery of each story.
Boy, can you tell a story?
And that brings me to today's reminder. Today's reminder. Not everyone who wears a cape is one of the good guys. Now, let me know you made it to the end of this video by leaving me an X-ray emoji in honor of our health. And if you want to check out Petal's channel, I got you. There's a link in the description below. Go check her out, leave her some love. You know she deserves it. And side note here, since I launched this channel just 2 weeks ago, y'all have been making me feel the love. Thank you so much to every single person who commented, liked, and shared one of my videos. And a special shout out goes to Adam McIntyre, who actually shared my video on his community page, and that's how a lot of y'all ended up here at my channel. It's so much appreciated, and it was a very kind thing to do. Also, I just chose a couple of random comments that were left on a couple different videos to highlight here, just because. One last reminder, don't forget to vote. It is so important. If you haven't registered yet, there is still time. I will leave a link below so you can register right now. Please vote. And hey, if you want another content creator to binge on, check out one of these two videos right here. And otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye.